Welcome back to this already the final segment of today's Price of Business. Delighted to talk to you about you and your business. Going to spend time with my good friend Lance Malone, a fellow Wildcat from ACU. I like to mention that every once in a while for our friends out there who have that experience. And does a great job of helping companies out there take care of the air conditioning and heating needs of their clients. And I love the stories that you bring and the technology that helps my audience is just phenomenal. And also over there at usdailyreview.com. Tell us a little more about Standard Supply, give your website, and then introduce your guest today.
Okay, Kevin, thanks a lot. I'm glad to be here again today. Standard Supply is a distributor of heating, air conditioning, refrigeration, and ventilation products. We've been in business since 1946, and we've been helping the best contractors in Texas take care of their customers and give them total comfort in their home or business. Today, I'm delighted to have my good friend Dan Leising from Advent Air Conditioning. Dan is their Vice President of Construction and also the Sales and Marketing Manager, and you can learn more about them at adventair.com, adventair.com. You can learn more about my company at ssdhvac.com.
Dan, why don't you start off real quickly, kind of telling us a little bit about your story?
Well, in 2012, a local gentleman nominated Advent Air for a national award through Business Contracting Magazine. From that, I guess thousands of applications are submitted. Business Contracting actually goes out and visits they review these things and pick out the top 5 that they think are eligible for the award. They send their team down and review all the processes, procedures, marketing, innovation, ride with our technicians, look at our installations, and take all that criteria back to determine who the winner of this award was. And we are very blessed and fortunate that Advent Air was named the Residential Contractor of the Year for 2014. Very excited about it.
And tell us about the name Advent Air.
Advent Air came from our owner who lived up in Indiana, moved his family back here in the early 80s. And what Mike was looking for, it's a Christian-based name. He was looking for a new beginning, and that's what Advent is. It's a new beginning, and so that's the name that he came up with. And we've been, doing business as Advent Air since 1981.
Very good. Go ahead, Lance, with a few questions to get us rolling.
Sure, Kevin. Dan has kind of an interesting background for the air conditioning business, as do I. So I'd like for him to tell us a little bit about his background and also about what he does at Advent Air.
Well, my first few years in business was in the hospitality industry. I was a general manager for several large hotel chains. Through my travels, I decided that my family life was more important to me, and I wanted to stay put and raise my children. But I also wanted to make sure that I maintained the same business ethics that I did for these large hotel companies, which was a strong focus on customer service, quality, and integrity. So when I started looking in the Dallas market, what can I do with my life that I can still service the public? And I thought something everybody's always going to need in the Dallas market is heating and air conditioning. So I started looking around, went to school, learned a little bit about it, started doing my homework on HVAC contractors. The interesting thing is all the companies I talked to, that offered me a job. I interviewed with, I believe it was 7 companies, and the first 6 offered me a job. They didn't understand why I wasn't going to accept it. Again, I was just doing my homework. What I found out in each of those interview processes is the name Advent Air Conditioning kept coming up. And every one of the owners of these companies that I interviewed with had nothing but positive things to say about Mike Douglas, our owner. So I thought there's got to be something to this. So I set up an appointment with them. I did some homework with the local Chamber of Commerce, Better Business Bureau, and 12 years later, I'm here.
Very interesting. Go ahead again, Lance.
That's a great story. Yeah, Kevin. The reason it's a little unusual for me to have someone like Dan on the show. As you know, I normally use the show, our segments, to showcase a new relationship or maybe a new opportunity with a customer of Standard Supply. And Advent's been a customer of Standard Supply for over 20 years, and I actually do some things with Dan outside of work from time to time to have a little fun. But I wanted to have him on because of this contracting business thing. I don't want to make light of that. Contractingbusiness.com is where you can learn more about it, but it's actually a nationwide trade publication, And to be selected as the contractor of the year from all the contractors in the entire United States of America that might be eligible for that award is a really big deal. So I wanted to ask Dan, there's lots of other contractors in the DFW area, and you mentioned that as you went about selecting where you would go to work. What makes Advent different?
Well, Advent Air is, a lot of people talk about basic business philosophy is quality, honesty, and integrity. What I've found in business is not everybody actually lives and breathes that. Our ownership does. It's all about quality, doing what's right for the customer. His theory is if we can't do it right and we can't be the best in the industry, then we're not going to do it at all. And that's very special. He hires the best people. He spends a lot of time and invests a lot of money on training, on the innovation, on business practices, installation, just on and on. And, it's just a great organization.
Yeah, you got to love that. And how many employees do you have? We
currently have 60 full-time employees. We cover everything from basically the downtown Dallas area all the way to the Red River, all of northeast Tarrant County, all the way out to East Dallas. We cover a large geographic area.
Lance?
Yeah, Dan, I know you're in charge of the residential new construction business at Advent, hence the Vice President of Construction title. If you could give the listeners one piece of advice about air conditioning when they're buying a new home, what would that be?
Do your homework. Most builders will go in and put in whatever the low-cost equipment they can get in to move that product. Air conditioning, there's nothing sexy about it. But what you need to do is there's three things I tell homeowners that are real important. One is they've got to have a solid foundation on their home. Two, in North Texas, you got to have a structurally sound roof. And three is you better have a good air conditioning system because of the frigid winters we do and the extreme hot temperatures in the summer. The countertops, the brick, the carpet, none of that really matters if you're not comfortable in a home. Do your homework. There's so many options out there to gain efficiency, gain comfort, improve the indoor air quality in your home. Talk to your builder. Make them let you talk to the HVAC contractor that's going to do it so that you at least have a say in your comfort in the home.
Very good, very good. Lance?
Yeah, Dan, what about when someone's needing to replace the air conditioning in their home? Do you have any advice for them in that situation?
Again, it's a matter of doing your homework. Check out the contractors. There's a lot of misleading advertisements out there that try to draw customers in as far as rebates and a lot of promises, implied warranties. Read the paperwork. Make sure you understand it. Get a reputable contractor that's going to do a manual J heat loss calculation every time, that's going to understand the needs that you have and what you've experienced with your existing system, and make sure that they're correcting those, not just coming in and changing boxes. People in our market, we see a lot of low price stuff, and all they're doing out is changing boxes. Find out what the issues are. Go to a contractor that's going to investigate those issues and come up with a solution to improve the comfort for you.
Got to wrap it up here in just a minute. Dan, give us that website one more time.
That's adventair.com.
Adventair.com. What a phenomenal story, and appreciate Lance bringing it to us. Lance, your final thoughts before we let you go.
Yeah, Kevin, my final thoughts are anytime you need any help with air conditioning in new construction, service, replacement, whatever it might be, I want to emphasize what Dan said. Do your homework. Find out about the contractor. There are a lot of great contractors in our business. Obviously, Advent Air is the contractor of the year for 2014, so they're a great contractor. But there are some out there who will have some unscrupulous practices in the home and in your business. So do your homework and go to adventair.com for a quality solution in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
And your website?
ssdhvac.com is where you can learn more about Standard Supply.
Thanks so much. When we come back, much more for you on tomorrow's program. Had a lot of fun being with you here today. Do want to remind you the best content here can be found over there at usdailyreview.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter. And the Price of Business never ends. It continues 24/7 at priceofbusiness.com. Have a great day. Spend it right here.